Hello everyone, a very beautiful Sunday morning to you all. I hope you all are doing well. And today we are here with our episode 87 of Instagram Live Guest Talk with Homeopathy Heals. And as promised, today we are having a very interesting, very different topic, how to study Materia Medica from Boericke, Allen and Clark. And our guest of the week is very special and very active on social media, sharing her cases, her experiences, her learning from the stalwarts. Let's not waste a single minute. Very good morning, Dr. H. Mehra. Ma'am, please accept the request to be in live. Very good morning. Very good morning, Dr. Abhishek Joshi boss. Yours yesterday's session was amazing as always. और उसका नाम मैराथन सही ही लिखा है. Hello, ma'am.
Can you
Good
see
morning.
me? Good morning.
Yeah,
Can you see me?
switch the camera, please, ma'am.
Oh. Hi, hi.
So, we are here, and so let's get ready to be amazed by incredible Dr. Sharon Ali. She's one of the most, emerging sort of homeopath in the field today with an impressive success rate. She's very passionate about homeopathy, and she's been dedicated for like 2 decades. And she's nationally recognized as homeopath and speaker who has appeared on UK Health Radio and have been invited to write reputed H-pathy journals as well. Her mentor is Dr. Surnimal Sarkar sir and the team of experienced homeopaths. She has a mission to prove free treatment to autistic children of Bal Kalyan Sanstha for 2 years, and her innovative contemporary homeopathic practice has helped hundreds and thousands of patients, and her passion for passing on her knowledge and led to found her Heal Homeopathic Academy for budding homeopaths. She has taken numerous seminars and webinars, and today she is here on Guest Talk with Homeopathy Heals episode 87 to share her vast knowledge. Again, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Anna. It's a very sweet description. Thank you very much. I have been watching your lives, and I think you've got an amazing set of guests who have come on your platform, and you have achieved quite a lot in being able to give, so many speakers this particular platform where they can meet up with homeopaths and budding homeopaths, which is the most important thing, because after 20 years of practice, if you ask me who are the students of my college or whatever, I might not know them, because it's been quite some time since we left college. But you have stayed in touch with that crowd, and it's really good. It's a bridge you have created for all of us here.
Thank you so much for your kind words, ma'am. So let's begin. And today we have a very different, topic. We haven't covered it so far in our previous former 86 episodes. So, ma'am, my first
Exactly.
question is, yeah, why we have chosen this topic?
So, okay. So, I did a whole thing and I checked all your topics, all the topics that have gone through. And I was like, man, she's left very little for me to choose from. When you're choosing your MD topic, how it is, half the topics have already been taken and then you don't know. It's something like that. But yes, this was something I had done with a group of students here in my study circle around 2-3 years ago, where I taught them how to study Boericke and Allen's keynote. Now, I'm not an expert in Boericke and Allen, and I don't know it by heart the way our teachers do. But it started making sense to me at some particular point. So I was very excited and I wanted to share this with everyone because, we have this thing in, when we are in college, we find all of them the same. And we find a lot of repetition between Boericke, Allen's and Clark. And we think, it's the same thing. I don't know why. Only little bit idhar, little bit udhar, Otherwise, it's almost the same thing. And then I had started referring to Franz Vermeulen's Concordant because I was like, "Kyun kitna repetition padne ka?" There's a compact version, and we'll study Concordant, But as I understood the beauty of the three different books, things started, falling into place, and then I started realizing, "Acha, this is what Allen wants to say," and that is why he felt he needed to write a different book. And this is what Boericke had to say, and this is what Clark had to say. So I want to share that with everyone because I'm sure everyone is having the same kind of difficulty like me. It's taken me I'm a little late tube light. I take a little time to understand. So it's taken me this much time, 20 years, to understand Boericke, Allen, and Clark and what they wanted to share. What was the difference? So I thought, why not share this with you all? Maybe it'll make you all understand the students to understand what to pick from where, and then how to make their own understanding of any drug that comes into their thing. So, like, say, suppose I pick up any drug and then I read it from Allen's, Boericke, and Clark. What am I looking for in each book is what I wanted to share.
So here comes the next question. I mean, what is the similarity or what are the differences you observed or you read in the three authors? Please throw a little light on different styles and what to study first, what to pick first.
Okay, so first thing I'll tell you, this is an amazing thing, and I think it is a little romantic about me. But they were friends. Okay, so Boericke, Allen, Clark, Burnett were friends, and they had study circles. वो लोग बार-बार मिलते थे, and they used to share their cases. That is why you find that similarity amongst them. So imagine the power of studying together. I want to give homeopaths this, and that your platform is equally important for this, Anum, because you have to help people mingle and share. I learned this about this drug, and you say, "Oh yeah, I learned this about this drug," and then I think this way, and then everyone has their own constitution. I might be a pulsatilla or a sepia, or I might be whatever. According to our constitution, we will pick up which one we want, whether we find Boericke more easy or Allen's more easy or Clark more easy will be very dependent on each homeopath's personal constitution. Okay, so there's all of them are beautiful, but all of them have an angle of seeing it. Like some people, they see a patient and then they think mentally, acha, ye patient aisa pulsatilla. Okay, and maybe I will see the patient and then I'll say, thirstless pulsatilla. I might reach that conclusion from a different angle, but then the idea is that my constitution has to also be taken into account. Now, in Boericke, Allens and Clark, no, they were friends with Burnett also. That's why I used to think, "Arey, Boericke ko itna information kahan se mila?" You know, where did he get all this information from? Because some of the things he has written are like, and how accurate, you know, means, and how concise, chart ke likha hai. So then I realized he's taken data from, as we know, we know it in pharmacy. We've been taught that, you know, they take some of the poisoning symptoms, toxicology symptoms, then they take some of the symptoms of accidental poisonings, then they take symptoms which are clinically proven. So the clinical side was actually more of Burnett's work and Boericke himself. Okay, or so everyone has had some information from everywhere. Okay, now Allens wanted to write his book because he wanted to give you, this is the way Allen is. He looks from behind and he looks at the broader picture. You know, he wants to see वो patient जब अंदर आता है तो कैसा दिखता है, how does it, दिखने में कैसा है, what are the basic complaints they have, stomach complaints, yeah, rectal complaints, yeah, what is the basic understanding? Is the person thin, fat, short, hydrogenoid, oxygenoid, da da da. So basically, he is trying to give you the feel of the patient when the patient enters the clinic. And then he's giving you a PQRS. And he's giving you differentiating factors. So that's the way he looked at it. He had the same information, but this is the way he wanted to practice and he wanted to understand, or he took it there. He took it ahead there. When you see Boericke, I feel was like Dhanapkar sir. Okay, fully pathophysiological. Physiology में क्या हो रहा है, anatomic में क्या हो रहा है, पैथोलॉजी में क्या हो रहा है, देन अंडरस्टैंड कि अच्छा ये पैथोलॉजी की वजह से ऐसा है आंख में, ऐसा है नाक में, ऐसा है कान में. The pathology is the same, but the effect on different parts of the body. So Boericke had that kind of a thing, and he had those combinations where he would say, okay, worms with cancer, synonym. So he had those spheres of action which were combined, and he had pathology or pathogenesis of physiopathology which was covered. So they're very different, and at the same time, it's the same drug.
True. I mean, even we haven't thought it this way. Actually, you have made us, give a thought again. Although we read books, we open them, but we haven't perceived them this way. So, according to you, ma'am, which book we should pick first?
So, I think first thing is when a student is actually still a student, no, they should really work very hard on understanding physiology and pathology. Okay, and I think they should pick up Boericke first because that's the toughest to cover, and it is the gist of everything else, if you ask me. And it's more, how can I say, concrete. Concrete as mean, what I mean is you can touch it, you can feel it, you can smell it, you know, you can use your 5 senses and you can know it. For Allens, you have to have that wisdom and maturity, and you have to have that comfort of sitting behind, which doesn't come in the initial stage of practice. And if you get misled by keynotes, because some people, they'll end up prescribing only on keynotes, and I think they mess up big time because, you know, they've not understood why that keynote came about. So if you ask me, I would say pick up Boericke first. But that doesn't mean, as I said, Allens and Clark have their own beauty, and it actually complements. You know, it's like you have a fork and a spoon. You can't do things which you need a fork for with a spoon. You know, and what you need a spoon for, you need a spoon for. So they both have their own tools. They both have their own beauty. But the most important thing is to be able to, you know, how can I say, fine tune yourself. So Boericke first, so that when you're little young, you're 24, 23, and you whatever you see, you can take it in. Once you get the maturity of age, once you have seen life, you have struggled, you understand what a poor person looks like, what their life must be, you understand what a rich person must be, and what are their issues. It is then when you should sit behind and start watching and see Alan. Clark has his own thing also. Clark, I wish he lived longer. He's done an amazing set of literature in his very short span of life. Clark, I refer to for the physical generals, desires, aversions, appetite, stool, sleep, all that. So when we are looking at things from that angle, then we have to go to Clark, because you will not get that in the other two books as much. You'll get few things, but not everything. It's more detailed. And also Clark has given, so like if Boericke has written one line, okay, Clark has written the story. Like he'll say, एक औरत आई थी and उसको ऐसा ऐसा हुआ, फिर हमने ये दवाई दिया, उसको ये भी प्रॉब्लम था, फिर अचानक सुबह उठा तो सब ऐसे बिखर गया, और फिर हमको पता चला कि this was the remedy that was had this effect also, or did this also. So Boericke will only write the indication, or he'll only write that one word, polyps, for example. But Clark will tell the whole story. So if you want to know in what condition it works, go there. And if you want to see ki, is the cure fast, slow, has it happened to a big man, old one, bacha, budha, you will understand it from Clark. Very different, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time in the 87 episodes, the host is lost, actually, to be honest.
It's good.
I should be like an audience, and this show should be carried out by someone else, because I'm not able to do justice to both of the parts, being the host and being a listener, absorber, like a sponge. So I'm sorry if I'm a little lost today.
No, that's okay. Actually, that's why when I told you, they're going to be questions. There are going to be lots of questions on what I'm going to say. But, it's good, because we will know where the student is actually in doubt, and how to, what are the things that you have to understand from the student's perspective. It's been quite a long time. So I want to know where the students get stuck and what do they want to know, Because this is what I found. And, like when I read Boericke, or like this, my students here in the clinic, they're like, ma'am, ye dawai kyun diya? It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. I'm like, read the case again, read the presenting complaints, वापस जाओ और वापस पढ़ो. Because it takes them time also to understand how I've reached a particular prescription. So what I find is that there has to, you have to be at all times evolving, and you have to at all times, when you're listening to the patient, I try to experience what the patient is feeling. Yesterday, there was a patient who came to me for hoarseness of voice. And she said, "Mera gala bahut kharab hai, and I cannot say my prayers. I have to say it aloud, and I'm not able to say it. And I'm also having lots of sleep issues and acidity. And you please fix this and give me separate medicine for acidity, separate medicine for sleep, and separate medicine for hoarseness of voice." And I said, okay. And everyone reached different conclusions. I gave her Nux-Vomica. So then they said, ma'am, why Nux? Why Nux? It doesn't sound right. I said, see, understand, she's reading a lot, she's staying up at night, she's not being able to sleep. That's why she's got the acidity, and that's why she's got a reflux into her throat. Usko sardi khasi nahi hai. So when you know ki the sardi khasi nahi hai, then the hoarseness of the voice has got nothing to do with the upper respiratory tract. तो एक ही तो दवाई था, तो in all 3 bottles we gave Naxomica and we said उसी time लेना, एक गोली तीनों डब्बे से. But the only remedy was Nux. So when we understand pathophysiology, we tend to make better prescriptions, and that I've got from Boericke.
So, ma'am, my next question is, when you prescribe, when you start, consulting patients in the clinic, what is your thinking that moment when you sit on chair and you observe patient? What is your thinking? For example, for a fresh case, what do you look for?
Oh, that's a beautiful question and very complicated. So we take a 2-hour history. The 2-hour history is usually taken by the assistant doctor. So the history is, if I put it categorizing what the complaints are, usually see now I don't get very simple cases. I don't get, so they usually come with a thappa of reports and files and all that. So we have two doctors who just write the reports and keep the data. And then we have another doctor who's taking the history, and that history has to be taken pura, means like presenting complaints, past history, and we spend a lot of time in that. Now, when we take that, when the patient enters, the first thing I want to do is have, as I said, that Allen's constitutional approach. बुढ़ी है क्या? Wrinkled skin है क्या? तगड़ी है क्या? You know, what's the first thing that hits you? Is there a smell? What did the person first say to you? Okay, so I'm observing the patient completely, how they behave, what they do, how they enter, are they limping. I hear, if the patient is sitting outside, I will ask कि किसका खांसी था वो, like which patient was coughing, because I will be even aware of what is going on outside for these things. So when the patient enters, I already have quite a fair idea of what is going on. Firstly, the patient wants relief for the main complaint they have come for. Okay, so suppose I am a patient who has got diabetes, but I have got sciatica. I'm just giving an example. For me, maybe diabetes is important. But if I don't address the sciatica and I start treating the diabetes on the side, the patient is not going to be satisfied and I will not be reaching a good prescription. So I give equal importance to what the patient is telling me, along with, of course, what we know as prognosis and diagnosis. So that means like there's a lot going on in my head. Lot कि अरे उसको ये लगेगा, अरे ये हो सकता है, अरे वो हो सकता है. So my preparation, mental preparation for what emergency medicines they will have, what prescriptions they will need ahead, and what they need at the present are all going on in my head. So I have a lot of side notes, which I have.
Ma'am, I remember last year in Sarkar's seminar at DY Patil, you launched your Heal Academy, but you were so much caught up. This is my personal question, actually. So I just want you to throw a little light on Heal Academy. What is this Heal Academy and what is it for?
So, Anum, this is actually something very deep. It's something very close to my heart. I struggled a lot as a homeopath. I am sure everyone has. You can't be a homeopath if you've not struggled, okay? But I feel that in my entire struggle as a homeopath, if I was given the right support, guidance, and if I was taught what I learned after 16 years of practice, I would have started earning in the first 1-2 years of my practice. What actually happened is, I think I opened and shut around 7 clinics before I actually started earning from the 8th clinic. Okay. And I think many people did not, means many people go through that, you know. They go through that struggle where they're struggling with the mind method, and they're struggling with this method, and they're struggling with so I did Vijaykar's method, I did Shankaran's method. I tried doing lots of different ways of styles of practice, okay, and I was always struggling. And when I started understanding Boericke and Allen's, and I started attending Dr. Dhankar, Dr. Sarkar, and Dr. Boericke, and my mind set and my mind mapping changed. My clinic is now literally into 10. Like, so, no, not even 10. I think 13. Okay, so what I was earning at that time, 4 years ago, has multiplied, and it's grown exponentially. And I wanted that the homeopaths who come out have, at least if I can reduce their waiting period, you know, thoda sa. Maybe if they're not, if they're struggling, they will have to struggle. There's no homeopath who cannot struggle, and there's no shortcut, and there is nothing you can do without studies. And I'm not telling you that I've got some great algorithm for you, no. But if I was given the right guidance at that time, maybe my clinic would have run from the first 4-5 months or 6 months, you know. And that is what I want to give back. I don't want others to struggle the way I did. This is my personal story. Okay, so that is when I kept on asking Dr. Dhanapkar that, you know, sir, please let us do something. Dr. Boericke, that, you know, we have to do something. And of course, at that time, the idea was that we would teach the student how to do it practically. मतलब मेरे घर पे आके, I will teach you, that kind. So that is how we actually started Heal Academy. Of course, it's a very, very huge vision, and I don't know how much of it we can do because it's big. There's too much to teach. There's very little time, and there are lots of other obstacles which I can see in front. But the intent is good, and it's pure, and it's to give. So that is where I started Heal. Now, luckily for the online platform, hopefully I'll be able to help a lot more people.
I wish you all the best for the vision you have started, and that's really very huge. When a homeopath is supporting another homeopath, sharing the knowledge the way you do it, so that's really very incredible, ma'am. So can we discuss few cases and prescription and style of treatment of you know, incredible Dr. Sharon Ali?
Incredible nahi. But then yes, so you know, recently I did this webinar series. I did 8, means I've done 7 modules, 1 more is left, of case history taking. ठीक है, तो मैं afterwards I realized बहुत ही heavy हो गया for the students because I try to pack it in and make it like malai, you know, really rich. But the every case that comes to me, you know, has some learning that I get, and every case has like certain angles which worked, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, I should have done this, like I should have known this before. So sometimes even now I will ask a patient, when did you get this problem? They'll say 10 years ago. I say, that time I was stupid, I would not have been able to help you. You know, so we had one case which had come to us where the patient had there's so many cases. So okay, so there's this patient who had come to us, and he came to us with lots of itching, and he had diabetes, very uncontrolled, so it was going up, down. He was on insulin, and he had gallstones, he had hoarseness of voice, and he had this mastoid infection over here, and he had a lot of complaints, urinary complaints, constipation, and all that. But uske history mein, there was a history that he had typhoid every year. Okay. So when I was thinking of it from the pathology point of view, I knew he is a carrier. Okay. So when he was a carrier, he had gallstones because of that. And because of the gallstones, he had, liver issues. Liver issues led to diabetes. And mastoiditis is also a very typical condition which is associated with typhoid. Okay? So everything was coming around typhoid. Every single thing. Whatever symptom he threw at me, the itching, the rash, the constipation, everything was coming with typhoid. So then we gave him typhoid in him, and that case was mind blowing because I restudied it after he got better. Within 2 months, his HbA1c, which was like 10.7, came to 6.7. And I was like, really, just one single remedy, and it was not even the constitution, right? And I means like we have remedies like Carboveg and Sorinum, which are known for never well since typhoid. But I was so sure that this is 100% typhoid in him, nothing else I'll give. And he improved. So this was one case which really shocked me because it shows how holistic the treatment is. There was another case where, so I'm actually trying to I'm trying to collate a lot of data on another remedy called Drosera. Okay, and I see it come up a lot in patients who have history of TB, family history or past history of TB, and it clears the case. The patient comes back at least 50% cured if you give Drosera, and then you get a whole new picture, which then you can give your smaller remedies or the constitution, and then it gets cleared. But I find one of the best remedies to use in practice is Drosera. Another way of looking at typhoid is ailments from suppressed diarrhea, because typhoid has diarrhea. So all the remedies which come for ailments from suppressed diarrhea also I use for typhoid, history of typhoid. So I get very nice results if I see these things these small things in my clinic.
Ma'am, we don't want you to stop. Can you please continue sharing your cases?
Okay. There were some cases where, okay. So one thing I've learned about from Dr. Sarkar is how, as I said, he has this way of going microscopic and seeing the thing ekdam Boericke mein and the past history, PQRS and everything, and then he goes back and he sees the whole thing from a different angle altogether, and he sees the larger picture. Okay, so there was a patient I saw in his clinic, and he had neck down paralysis, and he had CA prostrate, metastasis to the spine and everywhere. And we saw the case, and I was like wondering what he's going to give. He looked, and he said, "Chalo, lycopodium do." I was like, "Really, lycopodium? Such a bad case." And he said, "You didn't see the frown and the typical lycopodium state. This is lycopodium. It'll go." So that kind of making things simple when they have to be, and knowing the complexity. And I've seen this with him, which is so amazing. He knows all the materia medica. He will know the exact remedy for even if there's a pimple on the ear, but he will give on the entire constitution. So that's one thing I learned from Sir also. And again, this he knows Boericke and Allen's and their pit pat. It's amazing how much, and his insight, understanding it is different. His insight into it is what I get amazed with. One small word, and he understands so much.
Even if you allow, I can share a case. I had a case
Yes,
of hair fall and dandruff. The boy was 27 years old, and he was having a lot of hair fall with dandruff. So he told me that he felt sick and he had fever, or fever ke baad he started having this complaint. So in repertory we have sure shot. No, after acute ailments we have Menicilla, we have Helium, we have Bowels. I tried every possible drug I could, including uh, acid fluor and selenium also.
About
I was almost,
everything.
I was almost, was going to give up over the case. So before I refer, let's take another shot. There is something which is missing. Just as patient saying कि जब से बीमार गिरा हूँ तब से बाल गिर रहे, जब से बीमार गिरा हूँ, तो बोले क्या बीमार गिरे, बुखारी तो था, तो बोल रहे नहीं ये तो आ जाता है लौट लौट. So when I got his fever profile again, and that too after 3 months, so it was Vidal positive. Although patient was not having present, he was not having present fever symptoms.
Yeah.
But he was even I tried carbo-veg also, the GI upset. I was so stupid at times that I was using the GI. I was taking GIT complaints as a concomitant of a hair fall and thinking of carbo-veg, and it is not giving me the result where I am missing, the obvious pathology which I am not possibly overlooking. So typhoid in him 1M, and it's been years that patient never had any hair fall or dandruff. So so for cases, you need at times you need a different kind of vision.
A different approach, and you have to keep trying, and you have to keep. So I agree to this, and see, what's important is when you have study circles, this kind of data comes out. Now see, when you said typhoidinum, I said typhoidinum, and now see, imagine if you tell me the mental state of your patient, I tell you the mental state of my patient, and then we start seeing what were the commonalities or what improved, okay, what got better. So then we can actually make a proper constitutional prescription for typhoidinum.
Exactly.
Are you getting it? So the beauty is this, exactly what you're saying. So what I want to encourage homeopaths to do is stick to your friends, don't leave them, and keep discussing your cases. Because you are going to contribute and you are also going to gain. That's the beauty of, interacting with different homeopaths. We are at the end, we are a community. We have to live together, struggle together, and support each other. And that should be understood. And I'm sorry I have to say this, but then there are many fish in the sea, There should really be no competition amongst homeopaths. There is enough patience for everyone. And no one gets more smart if they don't share their information or knowledge. They just get dumber.
Definitely,
Yeah.
The ponds, they get algae if they don't flow.
Exactly. Yeah.
और knowledge प्रसाद के तबर्रुक के जैसे होनी चाहिए, बढ़ते रहने चाहिए, आगे बढ़ते रहने चाहिए.
Very true.
सबको मिलना चाहिए, जो भी है सबको मिलना चाहिए, और कम नहीं पड़ता नहीं आगे बढ़ा तो
नहीं पड़ता है,
आगे बढ़ता है.
Yes, very true.
Even less is more.
Yes.
In case of
less is very true.
But more cases. I am. You can have breaks. You can have sip of water, but I'm not.
Cases. I'll see. I'm thinking, But actually, there's so many cases, but then I will.
I would request all the audience. We have so many students having live, that please read Typhoidinum and Drosera from all the source book. You can, especially Alan Boericke and Clark, and do write, make notes what difference and similarity you saw, and even if you post it on your stories, do tag both of us, because even if you read one drug or two drugs after one session, then it is worth attending a session.
So let me think of a nice, interesting one. Okay, there was this amazing one, and this is actually I should give credit to Google Baba for this. Okay, there was this case that came to me with wait, this is different. Okay, so there was this case that came to me with ASO titer positives, rheumatoid arthritis. This girl is in her first year of BDS, And she came to me and we took her history, and she had already taken the steroids and whatever, and then she decided she wanted to wean herself. So she had gone off the acute and then she had come to us. And when we took her history, uh, wait, I'm looking for it. No. So when we took her history, no, we had given her, I think we had first given her abrotanum because she had a history of suppressed diarrhea, with rheumatic complaints. And after that, she started coming with um, eye complaints. Okay. Now, eye complaints, I think we all know uveitis is another complaint which is there of rheumatoid arthritis. It is an associated complaint of rheumatoid arthritis. So she started having eye issues and she could not move her eyes. She had photophobia and watering. And I was like, okay, now what? It's gone from the joints and it's gone to the eyes. So there was this remedy which we gave her, and it was extremely interesting. Her constitutional was cyclamen, and we gave her verbascum, and verbascum we got from Google Baba. We came to know that uveitis, where there is rheumatic complaints with eye complaints, which is rheumatic eye. So we have remedies like spigelia. I think we all know these remedies, right? Rheumatic eye complaints that are there. But verbascum covered the entire thing, because when I was thinking, see, I think like this, and I think this is all credit goes to Dr. Dhanatkar, that when I think I'm thinking, is it the pupil? Is it the conjunctiva? Is it the ciliary muscles? Is it the ocular muscles? I think very, very deep into the pathophysiology before I prescribe. So this patient had uh, on examination, she had dilated pupils. So Spigelia didn't cover dilated pupils, and we gave her verbascum, and she just improved so beautifully. It is amazing. There was just recently also, I think 3-4 days back, there was this patient who's not my patient. She's a friend, not a friend, whatever. So she called up. I didn't have the history, and then they had cough, and they gave the history on the phone, and I prescribed her Naja, which was, you don't normally prescribe Naja, right? But somehow, for some reason, when she gave the history of the cough, I prescribed her Naja on the phone, and she got better. In 30 minutes, she got better. Then the next day, the family called up and said, "Oh, she's better." I said, "If Naja has helped with her cough, please take her to a cardiac doctor." So because the remedy worked, it was ulta this time. So we took her, and I said, if Naja has worked, I'm sure the issue is also cardiac. Please get her checked up. And she turned out to have mitral valve regurgitation. So sometimes I think we have to think, if we have Boericke beautifully understood, you can actually sense, or you can predict कि ये भी खराब हो सकता है, ये भी नहीं, ये check करो, yeah, these are some of the things I learned, and this is, again, as I said, it's all Boericke. I know कि ये होगा तो ये होगा. So we know that this will be the pathophysiology behind it. The patient who had cough, which was white, sticky, but then it was not going for quite a few, like they had taken multiple antibiotics and all that. And she said, I have to keep spitting. So that is what made me think of Naja. And I gave Naja, and as I told you, yeah. So it was an interesting case. It just happened. We get a lot of interesting cases in the clinic.
As you very well said, you don't have that, basic cases. You all have, chronic and interesting special cases. Definitely.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and you know the beauty of it is that we that is why I want to. This is why I want to share. You know, see, we have teachers who are like there, right? They're 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years into practice. And we have teachers who are 20 years into practice. Then we'll have teachers who are 10 years into practice. And we have teachers who are just 5 years into practice. And what happens is everyone at their level learns something. But for me, now, as I told you, I did this series on case taking, and after I said, nahi, wo kuch zyada hi, like hazam nahi hua, you know, it was too heavy for them. So now I have to dilute things because, so I feel that everyone should do their part. You have to teach yours. We have to teach the ones who are a little into practice. मतलब 6-7 साल हो गया है, मतलब गिर के उठे हैं, तो उनको हमको सिखाना चाहिए. Then there should be some who you know, teach us, are our teachers, and then it goes on. So everyone has to do their part because this guidance, you cannot ask like a very senior doctor to come and start teaching you ABCD. You know, ABCD has to be taken care of by someone else. Like my knowledge will not at all. My knowledge is what I will teach the students. But I will still learn from my Dr. Sarkar and I will still learn from Dr. Dhanpar and Boericke. So I still have that. Means it's not that I've stopped learning or I don't have my own teachers or mentors. No. But we all have to do our bit. They cannot keep teaching the small children, you know, something like that. So everyone has to do their bit.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other cases, ma'am? I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm
No,
enjoying
no
clinical
how to study from Boericke Island class to gaya, cases chalu hai. Okay, I'm fine with it. The idea is to keep it fluid and see if the viewers want to ask any questions. In case of contact dermatitis, did to detergent has relieved with homeopathy their sulfurs, API, said, but the family history has thyroid, diabetes, hypertension, then thyroidinum given. Yes. I don't understand why they. I think we must have been talking about that and then they spoke. Any questions here from the viewers?
I told you, ma'am, they are enjoying session like anything.
Okay. So okay, there was another case I had which came to me. Now this patient had I don't know. I think it's in. See, I've stopped using repertory. Actually, I should start using repertory. Long time ago, in Radar. I've been using Mac, but Radar had this rubric begging for begging for relief. I forgot the exact thing. So, anyways, there was this patient who came. She's very rich and very affluent. She's actually Kashmir ka Raj Gharana ka, you know, she's got that. And she comes from a house like that. And she was in a lot of pain in the legs with slight swelling. And she said, na, pair apat ke hi acha lagta hai. I have to strike it against the bed. And then only I get sleep. And I have to keep doing that. It's so painful at night. Now, I have been looking for this rubric everywhere, but all these cases of mine who have the symptom, I found them get better with plum bommet. Yeah, in treating relief. Yes, Shahid. Hi, Shahid. Yeah, so this patient had this rubric also, but I have seen that most of the patients who had this striking against the bed or striking against the wall, you know, head banging ameliorates. You know, they bang. Have you? I don't know. I get a lot of patients who have this. So these patients, I've seen them get better with either tubercular remedies, like as I said, Drosera or tuberculinum or bacillinum or remedies like that. Or as I said here, in this case, she was given plumber med. And now I will tell you, it's just the way we said Naja. Remember I said Naja for heart. So the moment I saw that Plumber Met worked on this patient, I told the family, I said, please get her kidney function test done, because she might have some nephrotoxic complaints. So we, now my diagnosis, when the patient gets relief from a certain remedy, also gets decided. If, for example, I have a patient who has cracks on the thing and it's not going with whatever, folic acid and all that, and then we give them Candirango, then I will say, please go and get a CA19 test done. Our brain has to work like that. Then we are also aware, because see, we are taking so much history, then why don't we use that? And I have confirmed it time and again. When I had a patient who had cough and they were not getting better with arsenic, and then we gave them antim-ars. I knew that antim-ars works on the heart. I said, please go and get a cardiac exam. So we have to do it ulta. Then and then when the patient gets the checkup and then they come to know, oh no, my heart cardiomegaly hai, then they will, ye doctor ko aata hai. She's good at what she's doing. She knows her diagnosis. She knows this. So you gain the confidence of the patient because you have done that. You have gone one step ahead and pre-checked them for a complaint that they might develop in the future. Yeah.
That's very true. Still, ma'am, if you
Adam, if I knew, no, I would have been more prepared. But I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
I'm being too greedy, I'm being too greedy.
Yeah.
Even being weak in a person, you're always surrounded by your students, and I barely get time, to sit and talk, or you're always on your toes, arranging something, asking for something, get this done, where is this? So today I'm little greedy and opportunistic rather. So,
no, sure. This is perfectly fine.
Beating around the bush. So, ma'am, you can conclude the session by telling how to use Boericke, Allen, and Clark. As the audience will beat me up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I was thinking, कब पूछेगी ये question? And the joke is this. Yesterday, when I told her that, means I saw all your topics, and then afterwards I was like, then I said, see, I have told Boericke, Allen, and Clark, and किसी ने कुछ पूछा तो I should be able to answer it. So I went back and I restudied my PPT, and I said, chalo पूछ के. So I came today also. I called you. I said, see, I'm totally prepared for this question. You can ask me anything. You have been asking me cases, but I'm happy. Anything that, see, this is a great opportunity to share. I don't know whether you saw this Insta. Just 2-3 days ago, no, I think it's three reels before, I had put this reel about Aurum Met. You remember it? I'll share it with you again. So Aurum Met for me, has become such an amazing remedy, and I have started using it so often now. I can see it in common people now. Before, what used to happen? I used to think of Aurum Met for only the grand people who entered my clinic, But recently, I've started seeing Aurum Met in so many people. People whose parents pass away, and suddenly the whole responsibility of the house falls on them. Okay, so a calcarea can be treated with Aurum. So they might have been calcarea when their parents were alive, and I'm not talking about small children. I'm talking about adults, 30-35-year-old adults who had very dominating parents and they were calcarea, and then suddenly their parents die, and then they don't know how to handle the property, or they don't know how to handle the business. I've given Aurum Met and they've done beautifully. So I think that the understanding of certain remedies comes over a period of time, and again, this comes from Allen's. Allen's writes beautifully. Yesterday, I went to a restaurant nearby, And the man who was, imagine in a restaurant, he had put a bhajan, and he was serving us. He was a waiter, he was serving us, and एकदम skinny, the skeleton, like the pant was literally hanging on him. And I looked at him and I said, "Oh God, I wish I could give him Aurum." You could see it that this person is an Aurum. So the I don't know how to say it. It's a beautiful thing. Yes. Yes, strong responsibility. But I want you to see Aurum when the patient comes and you feel the calcarea, but you can see the ailments from. That's what I'm trying to share here. That you can have a constitution and then something happens to you and then you get affected by it and then you get another complaint. So to be able to treat first what is needed to be treated. And I'm saying this because we are taught to treat everything constitutionally and everything. So if the person is fat and if the person is flabby and chilly and all that, we'll not think of Aurum. Someone is saying, please answer my question, but then I don't know what question it is. Umesh Rohit, please ask me the question again because I can't see your question. So, okay. First thing I wanted to share is when we see Boericke and when we read it, the first line, the first para of Boericke, okay, will give us the pathophysiology of the remedy. So read the pathophysiology 1-2 times, close your eyes, think of the anatomy involved, think of the physiology involved, and make that movie in your head. Then after that, read the physicals of each, the eyes, head, ears, nose. Any case related to hypothyroidism, so many. Okay, that I will have to do it separately. That's too much. So yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to share with you. Now, when you read, like then if you read the eyes, head, nose, go back, read eyes, go back to the first para. Then read nose, go back to the first para. Read throat or stomach, go back to the first para. So every time you're reading that, go back to the first para to understand the pathophysiology and how did that come and give these symptoms. Okay, that is going to actually teach you how to read Boericke. You will understand every single thing because then the pathophysiology will make more sense. Then you will not feel that each remedy looks the same because you will understand where and what happens before this complaint comes. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to share. Read the modalities in Boericke. They're really helpful. Of course, I'm sure you'll do that. Boericke relationships will help you differentiate. Now, what Allen's has done is he's given the relationship along with the symptom, like this, and then in the bracket he's written the remedies on the side which are with the same symptom or opposite of that symptom or refer to this symptom. He's given it on the side along with the symptom, right? But Boericke has done that at the end in the relationships. So if you want to actually understand the relationships and the differentiating factors, please go to the relationship section of Boericke to read, and then you will understand. Because now, if you read Aurum Met from Boericke, he's described all the Aurums there. All the Aurums, Aurum Iode, Aurum Mure, Aurum Sulf, Aurum. So the idea is, when you read that, you will understand how to, use the same remedy in different places. That's one thing I want to share with you. Keep looking for that common thread going from head to toe in pathophysiology in Boericke. For Allen's, the first line of Allen's will tell you the constitution of the patient. So, as I said, obese, fat, chilly, fair, fat, flabby, thin, scrawny, rigid fiber, hemorrhagic diathesis, uric acid diathesis, whatever, dark hair, rigid fiber, whatever. So you will get that all in the first part of Allen. Please read the first para of Allen. Okay, and keep all that. I have actually made a different Word document, okay, in my thing, which has only the first para of each of Allen, of each Materia Medica, remedy. And then I keep reading that. Then it starts making sense to me. Because then when the patient comes, I check over there. हाँ ये भी था, ये भी था, ये भी था. इसमें बैठता है क्या इसमें? So you keep checking, and then you will get it. And once you get comfortable with that, you will be able to see it the moment the patient enters. Okay. Then relationships in Allen's will tell you what to use before and after. Okay. The cross references in Allen will actually help you in doing differentiation and remedies and you will understand. If you go through it now, you will get a much larger picture of that remedy from Allen, only studying cross references. So I would really suggest you all go, if he's written now in bracket a remedy, please go and read that remedy. Then you will understand the difference between the two. Okay. Which other one? What else would I say for this? As I said, Clark, I use it for the desires. So stomach complaints, I read it to hear the story that he has written as to wo kaise aaya, how did it enter the repertory? So the proving or the clinical experience or whatever. So I use Clark for that. And Boericke, another thing which I look for is combination. Like Sarkasa says, na, paralysis with cancer, Conayan. So those combinations you will get in Boericke, and mostly in the smaller remedies. So the smaller remedies you will see only 1, 2, 3, 4 words. 4 conditions, 1 remedy. But then you will know that these 4 conditions have come in the same patient. So that becomes the PQRS. Yeah, that's, I think I've covered most of it. I'm trying not to go into one remedy per se because that'll get too heavy.
So we are here at the conclusion of the session. It was amazing, and it has put a lot of doubts, the hunger for the appetite for more queries, to think out of the box, other way around also. And I request all the audience, or those who are viewers, students, those who have watched it, or those who are going to watch it later, I'll be dropping a question box in the story. Do let us know how you like the session, because it helps host, the guest, the speaker, to be better in every next session.
Right.
So I would raise my big gratitude to you, ma'am. With your busy schedule, you come up here on a small platform and share your clinical experience. That is very true.
No.
And thank you so much. I'm in short of words actually after this session.
No, thank you very much, Anam. I actually enjoyed talking to you. You have, मतलब आपने मुझे निचोड़ा है actually आज बहुत अच्छे से. You asked me the right questions. You gave me a beautiful platform. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share things with you, which I think maybe no other place would I have had this kind of an opportunity to share. I shared in the clinic, but then no, not at such a large platform. I'm really happy to have this opportunity to talk to the young generation. And it's been a pleasure talking to you too, Anam. It's really been nice. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much.
I was always among those kids, those who asked a lot of questions in the class, and teacher used to throw them out of the class because asking a lot many questions and disturbing the whole class. So teacher used to ask me, "Can you please get out of the class?" And the innate character of me, it doesn't change. The core never changes. So past 3 years, I've been asking a lot of questions from all the standards of homeopathy, and I can't be thrown out of the class now.
Now you can't. Now you are only handling the class. It's like आपको निकाला तो फिर class ही बंद हो जाएगा. Yeah, but it was nice. It was really nice. Thank you so much, Anam. Seriously, it was a pleasure talking to you. And I have to what you say, commend you on coming to this level, and uh, as I said, being a bridge, for letting homeopaths meet other homeopaths, interact, learn, and also get exposed to different topics. Huh? So it's nice because you've been able to do this with so many different methodologies, so many different ways of thinking, and that's very important because it's like having different tools for different things. Like you have where you use the spanner, you will not use the screwdriver, and where you use the screwdriver, you'll not use a hammer. So homeopaths should also have that. They should learn all different schools, and pick up what they need. And when the patient comes and sits in front of you now, you think कि मुझे कैसे देखना है ये patient को, what should I do, where is the case best going to end, entry point क्या होना चाहिए. So you've given that platform, where they can see all different options, and then they can say acha entry point kya hogi, so that you've given them. So it's really nice.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, ma'am, for being here. We'll be sharing the feedbacks as soon as we get it. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time
Thank
of
you
valuable
very
Sunday. And I know you are a hardcore family person, too much dedicated, and still sparing your off with us. But we all are your students, your kids too. So thank you
Yes.
so much for your dedication, and we'll look
Thank you
forward to
so much.
meet you in a person and on having more webinars, as we have another request of hypothyroidism now. So we'll catch you, we'll probe you for thyroid also.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I hope you all have enjoyed the session, and next week we'll be coming with another amazing homeopathic consultant, practitioner, and teacher with us. You please stay tuned with us. Do not forget to write us how you like the session, what you have learned from the session. And this Sunday, have a homework. Please read about typhoidinum and drosera, and do write us that what you learned about it, what different you found today after this session. Thank you so much. And if you have not yet subscribed our YouTube channel, do not forget to hit the like button. Follow us on Facebook also. And if you have any queries, you can mail at healshomeopathy@gmail.com. Till then, stay fit, stay healthy, homeopathy.